I'm asked many times to speak in front of groups. I do motivational speaking. I have clients. I create events, run events, do all of those things. So when it comes to Paul and what he's doing, I look at it, how he can go out there and in his buddy club and do things that are better. And how can that help his ability to speak to others? Well, I can tell you exactly how it helps. Is because unlike a lot of people, you have to experience something that you've never experienced before to understand it. And as it is in football, all the media can talk to you about a football play, but they've never experienced it. Those that have not played have not experienced what exactly has gone on the field with the players in a locker room. You can guess, you can hear from somebody else tell you, but it's the experience that makes you different and part and parcel above people. And so when Paul does a buddy club, and then he goes out to speak, the experience from the buddy club, he learns something new every single time he does the buddy club. And I think you can't buy that type of education or that type of experience once you get into it. And he's making his life to be able to go out there and help others. That's a pretty good experience.
I think Paul would be a great motivational speaker because he has a very gentle, kind way that he speaks with people.
The qualities that I see in Paul that make him a leader are probably his, first of all, it's his personality. He has a very dynamic personality, and he really tries to do the right thing, and he tries to put all of these people together, even though they might all have very different needs. He finds a way to make it work for everybody. So I give him a lot of credit for that. Because there's a lot of members here that have different needs. I mean, Nick is different than some of the other people that are there, but yet I just find that there's something for everybody. And I think Paul has a really dynamic personality.
The reason I think that Paul is going to be so successful with his market, with the SEPTAs and the PTAs, is that he exists in that market. He is thriving in that market. And rather than have psychologists and psychiatrists come in and talk about development and integration and all this other stuff, which nothing wrong with that for sure. But here's Paul, who has worked on himself in such a way that he is a perfect example of how young people can really thrive, even though they don't come with every advantage. And he inspires people, and the parents are so joyful to see someone in their category who is doing it, who is out there making a big success of himself and bringing other people along with him. It's a tremendous need, and he's got the ability to communicate the steps required and the actions taken through his organization by bringing the buddy club together, all their different activities. When he tells the parents what he's doing, they can't wait to get on board because this is exactly what they feel their children need.
I'm very involved with the SEPTA group at Kings Park SEPTA, so I invited him to come and speak and introduce himself and what he did. He was interested, he was saying, in speaking to perhaps some of the people at the schools, and I think he would be awesome at it because he just has all the kids just really somehow relate to him and like him. And I think that, there's a need for, sometimes I think, younger people to reach out to this population. I think it tends to be the older people. Like I know, like my son's 1-to-1 who I absolutely love her. She's older. She's, probably in her 50s. And I think somehow there's a different relationship they have, and they relate to them differently. And Paul hasn't been out of school that long, and he had some of his own struggles. And I think the kids sense that they have something in common with him.
And I know that Paul is really eager to reach out to the larger community and to get into the schools and to encourage these young people to have a reason for living and to live passionately and to make a difference in the lives of their community and their families, and to really blossom into the people that they are capable of being. And I know that's Paul is dedicating his life to being a motivational speaker and to reach out in every possible way and venue that he can.
Well, I think that, you know, Angela really touched on the heart of it as I see it. His empathy, his compassion for people, and just I would just say a very unique ability that you saw at a very young age, just to connect with young people and even with adults, not just on a one-to-one level, but even in a group process. You know, he just had a very unique way of connecting with people, and if somebody was disinterested or on the fringes, he just had a way, just similar to what you had said, just that empathy. He was able to reach out and just in such a genuine way that the person or the group felt connected. And just such a nice positive dynamic emerged from there. So that I really see as his gift.
Yeah, from an early age, I've seen that Paul had a talent in speaking. I'm a teacher, and I think even in 10th grade, he was a better public speaker than I was.
Yeah. That's true.
He could get up and motivate people.
Yeah.
You know, he follows through, and if he's motivating someone and promising them something, he carries it through. It's not just a sales pitch.
Right.
He believes in what he says, and he does what he says.